Hello, everybody, and welcome to DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. My name is Handsome Pierce. I am your host tonight. Tonight we've got Mr. Bill, Wild Style, and then we've got Jared giving from
Sacred Mountain Retreat Center.
That a kid. Right on. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what he does for the troops around here, what kind of special things that they have to offer at that retreat center, and kind of try to make it a little bit more public about what is actually going on and what we can do to try to help out. What, take me back to the process of when you started Sacred Mountain. What was in your mind when you started that? Was it like a close friend? Were you in the forces?
No, I never served. I was involved with some nonprofits, some other events, traveling around, and I just got to meet a bunch of these heroes. I got to hear their stories and kind of learn more about the care they weren't getting, how the VA, I don't like to bash the VA, but I'm going to right now. They want to hand them a bag of pills and tell them to go home and get better.
Right.
They don't want to help them mentally get through some of their issues. So probably 3 to 4, maybe 5 years into helping and doing different events, I was looking around saying there's got to be something out there that we can do to actually help. And in 2018, December of 2018, we formed the organization Sacred Mountain. I brought in about 20 people, veterans, first responders, some Gold Star families. Mm-hmm. And we just sat around and started talking about what we could do to develop a program.
So it was kind of like a think tank that you created to see what you could do or what was available to you to be able to help these right. fellas and ladies out.
Yep.
So in 2018 that started. Was there a couple of different conversations with individuals before that, kind of just feeling out the pond, so to speak?
Yeah. A good friend of mine, John Hancock, he has a documentary, Bastards Road. He's part of the Magnificent Bastards. Mm-hmm. He was in Ramadi. They suffered the most casualties during that time. And him and I just hit it off really well. And I started learning more and more about him. And I'm like, man, why isn't there this? And why isn't there that? And everybody that I talked to, nobody could really tell me why there wasn't more programs like what we developed out there that could actually help.
Right. And Bill, when did you get involved with the whole Sacred Mountain movement?
I remember the night.
Yeah, there we go.
Go for it. Right?
So
yeah,
it was probably our third retreat, and a couple of the guys that were there, they're like, hey, is there a place where we can get some cigars? I know that there's a place here. I think it's called Deadwood Tobacco. I'm like, yeah, I think I've been there twice. So a bunch of us walk in there. We walk downstairs. We're walking through. Bill's sitting in there. I think Ethan was in there too. We go in there and he's, what are you guys all about? And a few of them are buying cigars. And I buy a cigar, go over and sit down on the couch. And he's like, so what the fuck is this thing all about?
Nah.
See, I knew if you started telling the shit, he would probably try to correct.
Yep.
Are we going to correct all that?
Yep.
Because what I didn't understand if they were part of the actual retreat center, what I believe my first meeting with you, the way I understood it, there was some dude from the Marine Corps. At that time, it wasn't known as MRSOC. It was known as Recon.
Yep.
There was some older, skinnier gentleman that was a Navy SEAL. There was some other type of nurse, because I have his challenge coin from some fucking helicopter type bullshit he did. There was you. Let me think. So there's one more seat, one more cat I'm missing. And it was a conversation in regards to Sacred Mountain. And you guys asked me after I was sitting there for a bit, what did I think? And this is when the big bird came up. Correct.
Yeah.
And I went, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. To each one of them, they're all looking at me like, what's up? I'm like, this would have been kind of neat about 19 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it didn't exist, like he said. So that, if I'm correct in this mental trap of mine,
you got it corrected,
was the conversation.
That is
Boom.
correct.
That was the antithesis. That was the beginning.
Yeah,
of the whole,
because then the Deadwood itself, he came in for something, and there was something they were doing. That was your big old fun dinner.
Yep, the gala.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that was, when did you do that, 18, 19?
February of 19. Yeah.
Yep. And we're always there. I think you might be able to go to this one this year, unless you didn't go last year. Or
No, I didn't go last year.
Because I was
no.
working.
Yeah,
So I don't
I was
know why.
working with you. I think.
Yeah, maybe some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. But it's a hoot.
Right on.
But that is what I remember. Now, there's been a lot of people that have gone through that little program, and it's not, from what I understand, necessarily for a psychologist to come out here and exercise his academic degree, because he'll get swallowed up with things he won't understand. Things we tried to teach Ethan called mind fucking.
Right.
He wouldn't understand it. So,
And that's what I think. I think that's what's unique about our program is that we don't have doctors, we don't have clinicians. It's just other brothers and sisters, other like-minded people that have maybe not walked in the same boots, but they've walked in similar paths.
Right.
And that's what makes it great. Bill's not came through the program. I keep telling him I'd like him to, because he tells so many veterans about our program, talks about it, but he hasn't been there, so he can't really understand it completely.
I send the people.
He's sent, 2 or 3 people that have came through and changed our lives. And so he's right. I think that, a doctor or a counselor, they don't understand, and they try to read it out of a book, and they can't, it doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah. So like, take me through like a beginning to end. What can these guys expect when they walk onto your property and go into this whole experience?
So it's 7 days. It's Thursday to Thursday. Again, talking about it right out the gate. It's no expenses. So Sacred Mountain does lots of fundraisers. We're continuing to push for more all the time. Costs about $3,000 to bring veterans through. We take care of everything from the time they leave their home until the time they get back. Airfare. If they drive, we pay for their fuel. We pay for all their meals, lodging, all of our techs that are on ground. So equine is the root of the program. We do 4 days of equine. We split them up into 2 groups.
That's
8
horses, Pierce.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
8 is kind of our solid number. We bring in 8, and we try to split it 50-50, men and women. So half of the group will do a morning activity. The other half of the group will do something different. And at lunchtime, we flip-flop. Equine, engaging with these horses, learning that horses and humans are very similar. Most people don't understand that. They're very similar to dogs. Horses can read people. They have emotions. They have feelings.
Don't they, like, when you're approaching and they know before you do where your feelings are going to.
Absolutely.
And they amplify off of that. It might not even be their actual feeling. They might not even want it, but they grab it and they just make it bigger. And if you're paying attention to that horse, that's kind of the conversation that happens between the individual that's wounded, right? Because he's protecting something, and the horse can pick that actual up, that fear, that trepidation, all of it. It's wicked.
We've had veterans that have been deathly afraid of horses that don't want to get in that round pen. We have an amazing Tommy is our equine guy, and he is so talented at what he does. He can take these wounded, bring them into that round pen with them horses, and coach them and guide them, and you can just see a total transformation difference within minutes.
Right.
Because they're letting themselves let down their guard. They're accepting that horse, and they start working them, and they start trusting them, and they start, making that horse do what they're supposed to do.
And who can't cry after a big horse with those big brown eyes looks at you?
I'm
You know
one of
what I
those
mean?
guys that's scared of those horses, so I have no idea.
You just let them lick you with an apple.
So that's like the beginning stage, or is it heavy like equine play? God, that sounded really kind of weirdly sexual. Is it like a equine like centric the whole way through, or is there like different stages that you go through?
So, like I said, we do a lot with equine for 4 days. We do blacksmithing.
Nice.
We do leather work. We have massage therapists that come and work on the guys and gals. We just started doing some painting. It's a lot of just mind over matter.
Right.
Our blacksmithing, again, I was just laying in bed one night and I said, why don't we do something with iron? We take old rusty railroad spikes because, again, Bill can attest to this. Once most of these men and women get out, whether they're law enforcement or they're veterans, they get out whether they want to or they have to. They get out and then they think, I'm done.
Right.
What do I got? I've just, whether it's 4 years or 40 years, I've just spent so many years in that career field. Now what am I going to do?
Right.
So we take an old rusty railroad spike, we get it hot, they pound out and they make a knife. They make a little tiling spade.
Whatever they want to beat the shit out of.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say that's
That's
gotta be
in that
part
knife.
of that therapy. Is
Whatever,
just beating
whatever
the
it
fuck out
is,
of
right? That survivor's guilt, that anxiety, that breath that escapes you every time and you don't know why, and the darkness comes in, that panic, and the pills don't work, the alcohol don't work, the weed don't work, the coke don't work, the sex don't work.
Right.
None of it works.
No.
None of it.
So you're kind of deferring their mind away from their everyday process and giving them, task upon task, or not, maybe not task is the right word, but
Tools.
Yeah. So you're giving them this
New
like
pathway.
You said, mind over matter, but almost a way to divert their mind from that, like you said, that deep consumption of the survivor's guilt and all these things, and you're kind of focusing that attention on one thing for one amount of time, so they can kind of engross themselves in that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, and you find that, again, we refer to it back a lot as tools in their tool belt, whether it's the equine, the knife building, taking a piece of leather and pounding out something cool, whether it's a billfold or an American flag or bracelet, a dog leash. Again, it's just taking your mind off of everything that's been around you,
Right.
focusing on something.
Well, and just to be able to get out of where they're at and where they have those thoughts and where they're just inundated with all of their memories and thoughts and self-defeating shit, and being able to come to some beautiful place where that doesn't exist. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's a complete different surrounding. It's a completely different setting. I met a couple of guys when they came in, and from Chicago or deep in the city, and that's kind of what they focused on. It's so good to be out of that, where they are, to be able to come here and breathe a little bit and be able to focus on themselves, really.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about being judged because they're around other like-minded people.
Yep.
They can cry, they can laugh, they can get mad. They can truly open up their emotions and they're not judged. And that's one of the things that I think 90% of them that came to the program have said, we don't have to worry about hiding. We don't have to worry about worrying about someone else judging us because we had to do some of the most horrific things.
Right. Yeah. And God bless them for doing it. I, as well, have not served, but have been around a lot of people that have served, and it's a heartbreaking thing to watch, just that crumble behind the eyes. You know what I mean? So that's awesome that you're doing that. So that's the other 3 days. You said 7 days total,
Yep.
correct?
So it kind of all mingles in. It starts out kind of slow because when they come in, obviously, they're all strangers. No one knows each other. So they come in, they're learning one another, they're doing things, and then it kind of picks up. The morning starts at 6:30. Health and wellness. We have infrared saunas. We have a full gym on site. So they have an hour where they can health and wellness. They can go and work out. They can go for a walk. They can get in them saunas and sweat out, detox, whatever they need to do. So it kind of starts slow. By 3 days, it's hardcore.
Yeah.
And then the latter part just kind of slows back. And the last day before they leave, we do our tour into We go to Mount Rushmore. We come in Deadwood. We do all that stuff.
Yep.
And it just one of the other things is, you know, we say people come in as strangers. They become friends within a few days, and they leave with a new family to lean on, to talk to. When they're struggling, they get back home. Again, a lot of these men and women, their spouses don't understand if they haven't been there.
Yeah.
So they have someone new now to, on a Thursday afternoon when they're struggling, they can pick up that phone and they can call somebody and they get it.
Yeah. And it's another way. I mean, it feels like you're almost like taking this loose, you know, this chaos that they're in, slowly building that structure that they're kind of used to, and then easing it off on the other side so they can kind of experience that wave. And on the other side be, you know, I didn't have to go across seas and get shot at and have a brother down. I got to meet people that are still there. I can call them. I mean, God willing, call them. Now, is this like a nomination thing, or do they submit application?
Application.
Okay.
All the applications are online. A lot of it comes from referrals. I mean, like I said, Bill's had people come into the shop, and you know, he can read people. He can tell if they're a veteran, first responder. I think it's just from years of doing what he does. He sent a female to us that he suggested. She still lived in California. She came back. He suggested again. She came to the gala. She's like, I got to check this whole thing out. She's seen my wife and I walking out of a store, and she turns, she goes, hey, you're Jared from Sacred Mountain. I looked at her and I'm like, yeah. That was all. That's all she needed. She came to the program, and she's local now. She lives back in South Dakota here. Changed her life.
Very nice. God, that's such a, like, is like all the activities, were they a trial and error, or were you building off something that you had seen that you had like researched and thought it worked? Or
The first program that we had was April of 19, and I call it my crash test dummies. It was literally 8 guys that I knew from the past, guys that I had met over the years, and I'm like, hey, we need to do a smash course. I need all you guys to come in here. I'll take care of it all, but we're going to run a 7-day program in 4 days. And we did. And they did the equine. They did the blacksmithing. We had massage therapist. We had yoga. We did all of the things 4 days. It was, I think they came in, it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and everybody left Monday morning. And when they left, 2 days later, we had a Zoom meeting, and I said, so what do you guys think? And every single one of them said, you're spot on.
Oh, nice.
So
right out of the gate, you had it nailed in.
we're still,
I mean, you always have shit to iron out.
I think
but,
you're always, making adjustments every program.
right. And Bill, like when you see a person in need, for lack of a better term, and you're referring, like what's going through, like what, not to get too personal into their lives, but what kind of conversations are the little trigger that goes, ding, this person could probably use this therapy, or not therapy, but experience.
Just like at work, Pierce. Just like at work. Each one of us, we don't have to tie work into this, but we could.
Yeah.
But vets, right? Some have seen some things, and they don't know how to handle it, right? And it's real easy to see somebody that is puffing up, just to puff up.
Yeah.
But it's easier to see somebody walk in a shadow. And the shell of the person is what's hidden. And you can ask them certain things, and when their eyes don't look at you, but their voice is still firm, there's something going on. They're not telling the whole truth.
Right.
And that particular lady, I wouldn't necessarily say I was trying to push her that way, but there was something. She was looking for something.
Yeah.
And it was obvious. And I don't think it was Deadwood itself, but something. And then I had no idea. And then she came back, and the conversation was all over one thing.
Oh, I'm sure you don't have to.
Wine.
Oh, wine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it started. Like all things.
Right.
And Hey, check it out. It's pretty cool. That's how it started. There was no, you should go do this. I think you need help. There was nothing like that. I didn't get involved in her trauma.
Yeah.
I got my own trauma.
Right.
And
I think Bill's really good at being able to see when people are hard.
Yes.
I'm hard.
Hard end.
Exactly.
Good Lord. Yeah.
So
You
when
know
you're
the baby arm
when
come
you're
out.
already hard, it's easier to see other people when
Right.
they're hard.
But don't forget, hey, real quick, let's throw something positive because they do other things. Like at DTC, we have the beer. So even if they're listening to this, they don't have to get the beer because they're physically not there. But they could call 605-722-1510, and guess what they could buy? The Sacred Mountain DTC 16-ounce tumbler, and we'll wrap that bitch, ship it. It's only $4, and they get all the money.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great thing.
So let's try to sell 200
200.
glasses by December 1st.
Call Consuela and order your glasses
And
now.
and if these people are listening, we'll do at whoever the 25, who's ever the 50, who's ever the 75, and the 100th glass, which is all going to be random, right? Mm-hmm. Because we'll have the numbers based upon the order 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Those 25 count increments will get a box of DTC Connecticut Robustos.
Wow.
Ooh.
So we'll give away 4 boxes.
Number 25, number 50, number 75.
25, 50, 75, and 100. So
All right.
4 boxes. We got to sell 100 glasses by when?
December 1st.
And that's going to start Friday, the day after Turkey Day. I just made this shit up.
Yeah. Good
Right
deal.
on.
So that and all the money will go to you. That'll just be a quick flash sale.
Right.
So
Now-
that'll be, what did I say, 200 times 4? $800.
Right.
Yep.
There you go.
And then for people that want to donate and don't necessarily want a glass or aren't interested in whatever, where can they go to donate? Just straight up donate.
They can go onto our website. There's many different ways. We started, we call it Got Your Six. It's $6 on the 6th of every month. It's $72 a year. That's something small. There's many other categories when they go onto our website. That
Sweatshirts.
sweatshirts. We've got a full shop. They can buy swag. They can buy, anything. Flip-flops, sweats, T-shirts, hats. We have the gala coming up. That's going to be a huge event because it's our 5th year. I'm going to throw out a little teaser. We're going to have 5 Medal of Honors, 5 Purple Hearts, 5 Bronze Stars, 5
Did you catch that premise earlier?
Yeah.
That
5
precursor.
Silver Stars, 5 Gold Star families.
It's all one guy. No, just kidding.
You can barely walk with all the medals on his check.
We're going to bring in our law enforcement folks from the area. We're bringing in, I can't say anything quite yet because it's kind of still in the works. But our keynote speaker, I don't think anybody in this area is going to want to miss it.
Okay.
It is I can actually talk about that because we have contracts and everything signed.
I'm just curious.
I wasn't
I have an idea.
gonna say anything.
I just have one idea based upon what you said, and I'm hoping it's the idea in my head.
So
Because if it is, I'd have a intellectually mental stiffy.
Talk about getting hard.
But if it is what I think it is, and I could be way off base, but just go ahead.
So if I'm right, you have to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you are right, and you can't cheat, you can't lie. So for this year's keynote speaker, we're bringing in Jessica Lynch.
Wait.
I feel like that's a thumbs down.
So if you don't know, you got to find out. Jessica Lynch is the only female POW. She has what?
Look, the Marine in me just wants to bust some balls. That's all. No offense to her. No offense to her story. No offense to none of it.
You know her story.
Yeah. I got. Go ahead. She got lost in the desert. People went and saved her.
She didn't get lost. She got taken, but
You lose a compass, no weapon. The whole group got lost. Navy SEALs went to the hospital and saved her.
right.
So we get to hear her story.
Right.
See, now you know why the Marine in me wants to. And trust me, if Stash was in your seat, because he did 22 years in the Navy, it's just the inner rivalry. Nothing against her.
Right.
I mean, I hope she's got stones that if she was sitting here, she would just smile and be like, I figured you'd say some shit like that. Because trust me, if I didn't have my compass and forgot my weapon as a Marine, I guarantee she would bust my fucking balls.
As she should.
Time. Oh, amen, she better. Because I would have got real big for doing that. But her story.
Her story, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, being able to bring her in and bring the other heroes. And I look at all of these, you know, doesn't matter if you're a Purple Heart or a Medal of Honor, or if you're just a Bill.
Yeah.
You know, they're all heroes in my eyes. But with it being our 5th year, I'm always trying to always do it a little bit bigger, a little bit better. The Medal of Honors that are coming in, I mean, they're all Vietnam guys.
Do you know
one?
Do you know who I wanted?
Who did you want?
Just because I just like his story.
Who's that?
It's a good friend of ours. And when you said somebody locally, he already does a lot with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the guy. And with everything he's been through.
Yeah.
That's why I got super excited.
Can you imagine how off the chain that would be if you had Niles standing up there? That'd be fucking
well, and I mean, everybody, well, you guys know I'm very close with Niles. Him and I are extremely close. He just called me and he asked if I'd come and have some drinks with him Friday night. Niles is amazing in this kind of setting because he runs off the chain. When he starts, it's amazing, and I love hearing his stories.
Yep.
But in a big group.
It's pretty tight because his filter is 0.
Yeah.
And I can't
That's what I'm
offend
saying.
some of the ladies that are there. And, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yes, you can.
He'll be there. You know, he'll definitely be there. And
no, I just got excited because I was like, oh, man.
You know, the first year, the galley, you weren't there. But when we recognized him because he was one of my heroes because of the song Big and Rich made of him. Man, when that song came out, I was like, what an amazing hero. And then I come here, I meet Jeff Lamont. Jeff Lamont tells me, oh man, you're starting this. You've got to meet Niles. And I said, Niles Harris? Are you talking about the guy that Big and Rich wrote the song about? He's like, yeah, here's his phone number. He gives me his phone number. I call him up and he's like, well, meet me at the glass shop and we'll talk. This isn't some Christian thing, is it?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds just like him. That really did right there. No doubt.
So we met up and we hit it off right then and there. And I told him that I wanted him to be honored at our first gala. We played the 8th November song, and he got up and he said a few words, and the crowd really got into it. And he's like, where the fuck were you at when I came home type of deal,
Yeah.
I could have used somebody like you.
Right.
But no, so it's going to be great. Tickets are going to be on sale. Black Friday, they're going on sale. We're doing a Black Friday sale, 20% discount. And I really think that tickets are going to go quick this year.
And that's on the website as well?
Yeah.
And then what's the website, just so everybody's clear? sacredmtnretreat.com.org.
.org.
We got it.
.org. Yo, real quick though, that happened to her like how long ago? She was relatively young when it happened.
Yeah, that was in.
Fuck, that was a long time ago.
Not that long, because she's 38.
Well, come on, man. That's a long time ago.
Still early 2000s.
15.
I want to say it was 2000. Well, yeah, I guess we were just talking about today. Time flies, but
20 years?
12.
Okay. Almost 20 fucking years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
2003. Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
But I think that what is the reason why it's unique is because we've never had a female keynote speaker.
Okay, not keynote.
Not keynote.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
Yeah. Was the keynote that last time? Was it the old man that came out in the flight suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Captain Plum.
That was an embarrassing time for our table. You don't remember that, do you? Do you?
Rudy was this last year.
He was the old man?
No, Rudy was this year. The previous one was.
Yeah, because it was you weren't at the last
Right,
one.
I was working.
Rudy Reyes was our last keynote speaker.
He's the dude that came out in the jumpsuit?
No.
No.
But the guy you're talking about was Captain Plum, and
Yeah.
he was a POW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when Consuela was the last one standing and was hooting and hollering when everybody else was sitting down. And Stash grabbed her and was like, "Sit the fuck down."
Yeah.
Now here, look, I'm going to send Stash to this next one again because after 22 years, he got a little PTSD from your last speaker.
Right.
The female. It caused him some issues. He had to get up and leave.
Yep.
But I hope this one will motivate the fuck out of him.
I think it will.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Because he sometimes still talks about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, he does. It still upset him because
There was a few that got upset, which I don't blame them.
I mean, I personally took offense to one statement that was made, and after that statement, I kind of turned the volume down, and that happens anywhere, you know. I'm sure people don't want to necessarily hear everything on my story, and I would say things that they would be like, "Whatever, dude."
Right.
But this one could be real interesting.
Yeah. We'll have someone that's came to the program. They'll share kind of a testimony of where their life was leading up to coming through the program and how their life has changed after going through the program. So
Was that the guy that got the one cop? Was he the one that talked?
Jared Rustin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like when these people tell you the story, Pierce,
Yeah.
it's like they tell you the story of what happened to them, not after the fact, but what the physical and mental trauma they experienced. Then they tell you what their life was like after it, before they got to the program and what the program did. So imagine, like your dad being a cop, right? Mm-hmm. How would you feel one day if your dad's just sitting there and boom, gets blasted in the face and he's dying, but somehow he survives? Imagine that trauma.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there for him. Alcohol, pills,
Right.
right?
Yep.
All that shit. And then he comes to this group.
Yes.
Or,
No, I think
the other dude that, what was the dude that had that? I thought this was cool, and I know it's not going to sound right, but that wheelchair that dude had, where it stood him straight up, what the hell was that?
That's ours.
That was impressive as hell. I don't care. I don't know who that dude was. But,
Called Stand Up and Play Chair, and that was
oh my
developed.
God.
It was developed for guys to be able to golf in and shoot rifles.
dude.
I have seen the golfing thing video
Dude.
online. Yeah.
Like this dude, I mean, to me, he was on stage and he didn't look like nothing in the wheelchair. And then when he stood up, I swear to God, he was like 6'3". Mm-hmm. He was a big dude. And I'm like, holy fuck, how's he not going to fall forward? That's what I'm thinking, because it's just, and then bloop, and he gave the whole talk, and you're like, how the fuck isn't he falling forward? It was neat. It was weird.
Oh yeah.
I never experienced something like that.
And then with all these speakers, do you find them? Do they find you? Or is this something that like somebody that's gone through your program is like, hey, you should really talk to this dude. He's got an amazing story. Or is it kind of a culmination of all of them?
Yeah, a combination of all. I've got a really good network of people that know people that if I'm in a bind and I need somebody, I can call on a couple of people and they always seem to pull through. We have another program that we kicked off in 2020. It's called the Puppies Healing Heroes. Yeah. We give puppies to heroes. This February, we're giving 2 more puppies away, and we'll have given a total of 17 puppies away in 2 years.
Awesome.
These aren't just little cuddly things, even though they look like it.
Right. I was going to say,
They actually,
they
yeah.
go through the service dog training and then they get placed to said vet that needs
For the individual.
Yeah.
Right. So
They don't know they're getting it and they cry. It's so cool.
we just had our trainer in Wyoming, him and his wife, they're so passionate about what we're doing that they wanted to help with the funds. So they had a fundraiser Veterans Day in Powell, Wyoming, and they raised $64,000 for the
Holy
puppy program.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely amazing. And so
now-
I reached out when he told me when he said that he wanted to do it, I said, well, we need a keynote speaker that can kind of share his story. I don't really know anybody that's been affected a lot with puppies. So I called my friend in Texas. She's like, I got your guy. I'm sending his phone number right now. She sent it to me, told him. He had an event the day before and an event 2 days later. He's like, I'm in a wheelchair. I only have one leg. I'm paralyzed. I have a dog. I have a speaking engagement the night before, but I can fly in Friday. I can go back to South Dakota on Saturday. I can check out your program as long as you can get me to the airport Sunday morning because I got to talk Sunday night.
Wow.
And he did an amazing job.
Nice.
You just made me think of something. There's another thing that happens at this gala. So anybody listening that wants to buy a plane ticket and fly out to Deadwood and come to this gala, you should, because there's a lot of enthusiasts out there that would enjoy this particular night. Not just the conversation and the food, but this is a hook. How many guns do you raffle that night? And how many different guns? Because there's some weak ones, and then there's some other guns that go for really big numbers. So if you like to shoot, you can also buy, you're going to buy it more or less, but
Right.
the actual hunt. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
so you can come to this. It's at a casino. They got plenty of rooms. Deadwood can do it. Check out their website because they'll get you the gun if you win.
Right. Yeah, I think last year we did 15 or 16 guns.
Yeah, and they're not just, some are just your normal, hey, I'll take that AR off the wall.
No.
Other ones? No.
A little bit more specialized.
Last year's top selling gun sold for $37,000.
Holy shit.
The trigger pull was scary.
Right.
I can only imagine. So with the puppies, obviously they get trained for the special needs. If you have a paraplegic, then they're going to be able to do this and whatever else. Does the people that are donating the puppies, do they actually go through the training too, or do you have to send this off to a specialized training group?
So the puppies go home with the handler at 8 weeks old, and they stay with them until they're 6 months old. They build that bond, build that relationship. At 6 months, they go to the trainer. The trainer has them from anywhere from 2 to 4 months, kind of depending on how the dog is and what the handler has done leading up to that. And then the handler goes to Wyoming to Wes's place, spends a day with him, kind of retraining, learning how the dog handles and whatnot, and they go home. And the dog is eligible to go back at least once, if not twice, if need be. Most of the dogs that Wes has been training for us, they go home and they're dialed in.
The puppies are cool and all that, but not everybody can get a puppy.
Right.
It takes not the winning ticket.
Right.
Tell us what it takes, because not everybody can get one.
So that's, again, when I first started it, it was just, I said that I wanted to do this, and I went out, I bought the first 2 German Shepherd Malacross pups, my own money, everything. I said, suicide and veterans and first responders, when you put a service dog in their hands, suicide drops by 79%.
Oh, wow.
So we did an application process, and the first year I think we did 2 pups, and I think we had 8 or 10 applications. Every year it's grown, and I said at the first gal, I wish I could, you get a puppy, you get a puppy, you get a puppy. You can't quite do
Puppy
that.
day.
Right. I have a Belgian Malinois that's, she's kind of the Sacred Mountain mascot. She's trained in PTSD. She's cadaver and search and rescue trained as well. And our good friends in Rapid City, they have a male. And so we bred her in February. We had 8 puppies. And what the plan was is I was going to give 2 puppies to the program, and then we were going to sell the rest of them to kind of help, food and everything else.
It's not a cheap process to get them through training.
It's not. So we're in the middle of a retreat, and I had a firefighter from Oregon. He come up to me and he's like, I told him what the puppies were priced at, and he said, if I give you $500 less and donate it back to the program, would you accept that?
Yeah.
I mean, I got teary-eyed, and I said, absolutely. Well, it turned into me in a snowball effect. He called a friend back home that had just lost his wife to suicide. He bought a puppy in her honor. He called another friend who had lost his son to suicide. That family bought a puppy, donated it back to the program. And it just, 2 months later, all the puppies are sold and donated back to the program. So we gave all 8 of Zoe and Foz puppies to veterans this year.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. So when people go on our website, they fill out the application. Obviously, there's more applications than there is puppies. We go through. We have to make sure that we're placing the right puppy with the right handler. Not everybody can handle a Belgian Malinois. Some people are better off with a lab or a golden retriever.
Yep.
And we're hoping with what Wes is doing, and we got a couple others that are raising, Saloon Number 10 and Deadwood Custom Cycles. They do a poker run for us. This year we did it in August, September. They're raising money. So we're hoping that as the program grows that we can eventually give anywhere from 8 to 12 puppies a year away. So we'll do half.
That would be crazy if Disney would get on board here in this and donate some money for veterans, to get puppies. That'd be cool. But Disney might be feeling pretty good right now because they just fired people and they need to do some good tugging at veterans out there. And puppies are the greatest thing. So if anybody that's affiliated with Disney in Florida, that'd be a great way to donate to Sacred Mountain.
Boom.
Or Gap at that Miami Mall.
101 of them.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Disney stepped up and did 101 dogs for veterans and how many lives that would save?
Oh.
And then imagine if Disney could do that. I'm just keep saying Disney until Disney hears. Got it, Disney? Step up, Disney. Your rides are too expensive, Disney. And I should wear any shirt I want, Disney. Got me, Disney? You're finally catching on board, Disney. Sorry. Maybe Disney will donate.
No, it's
Now, if that was a hashtag on Instagram, maybe they would follow that. I don't know.
Right.
we'll just create it. With the amount of people, like how many different packs have you had come through?
Yeah, so I was going to hit on that before we got on the puppies. We've had 180 men and women that have came through the program in 4 years. We just finished our 4-year in October. Out of that 180 people, all are alive and well today.
Oh, God, that's awesome to hear. So 180 people, 8 people a time. So how many rounds do you do per year then?
We try to do 8 to 10.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on applications and whatnot. We for those of you that aren't from the Black Hills, we get a lot of snow at my place. Well, this year it came a little early, but December, January, February, March, they're pretty hard times. So we're going to kick back off in March, the end of March. So we'll have March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October is what our schedule is set for 2023. We're pushing very hard because of the equine being the root of the program. We're trying very hard to raise money for many things, but we need to get an equine center built. And
hey, you know what?
What's that?
You got nothing going on in January and February, huh?
I'm going to be getting ready for a gala and recovering from surgery. But
hey, surgery is pain, weakness, leaving the body.
That's right.
So, at the new shop, we should think about something.
We should.
What was the word I was looking for? It starts with an R. Some of these people that went through the program, you got 180 of them. You can't get them all back. But if we did a return dinner, right, at the shop, closed it down, maybe we could get Fritz on board to cook some wild game, get a cigar person, do the whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe if we did it right, we would get these people to buy the plate, right? Plates say $250 fucking dollars.
You can sponsor your
Yeah.
yeah.
And then if we can get one of these people that went through the program, and I mean like years after, right? Because you don't want the guy that's 6 months out, right?
Right.
Because he's still working with things.
Right.
You want the guy or the girl to be able to go, yeah, 3 years ago I went through, and this is where I was at when I went out. This is where I'm at. And then the people at the dinner should be the people that can really sponsor throughout the year,
Right.
right? So we make it a bow tie dinner, not black tie, bow tie.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you wear jeans or shorts, you got to wear a bow tie,
Sure.
right? Something like that.
Yeah.
That way you got another little charity gig. Doesn't cost you anything to get the food. DTC will cover the food with Fritz. Cigar guy will cover that. We'll get the wine guy on board, and we ain't going to do no 19 crime shit. We'll do Camus and Stag's Leap and do it right.
Yeah.
So that way we get the right type of person that's going to understand the food, the complexity of the smokes and everything along the board, and do it right. So that way we get to feature what we do. We get to have you, and we can have our little boy Shorty as our guest speaker just because he'll be rocking the mic,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if his dog and your dog will get along. I mean, that could be some interesting shit.
Well, they played together all right.
But I'll get on board with Shorty and everybody on my end by the end of the year, and we'll just see if it happens,
Yeah, I'm all in. Let's do it.
right? And go from there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sounds like a great idea to me.
When are you going to be in the new shop?
We'll be in there by January 15th.
Nice.
No doubt.
Right on.
Oh, it'll be fun because if we do this right, I'll put all the tables in one big, massive line, like one big fucking table. That'll be fun. Have some antelope with some funky vegetables and some crazy dessert. Anyways, that was just an idea you made me think.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. The
And use it as a corporate thing to get that money rolling in. Maybe then we can challenge somebody from that dinner to sponsor a fucking dog.
yes.
Yeah.
That would be the goal.
Yeah.
And is there like a sponsorship thing for the vets that are going through, or first responders, or whoever you have coming through? Is there a way for somebody out there to sponsor, an individual besides the $6 a month or anything like that? Is there a way that they can pave the way for them, or whatever, help you guys out? I know that donations help, but putting a face to the dollar amount, does that help at all, or anything?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, if there's people out there that are listening right now that have a family member, a friend that they know is struggling, they can reach out. There's all of our contact information. If, Sally's nephew that was in Iraq, she thinks that this program can help, she can get in touch with us, put him in touch with us. She can sponsor him to come to the program. We have that different breakdown as well.
Right. And then going in there, I'm sure there's a ease of stress and everything else, stress, depression, maybe not an ease of it, but you know what I mean, a little bit of a calming effect that just the surroundings provide. So even somebody that's, really, really bad, I'm sure you've had your hard cases, and I'm sure you've had people that just fly through there and act like there's, nothing wrong. But they can expect that warming, inviting area to come into and know that they're surrounded by brothers and sisters that have experienced the same thing.
I also have a question when you're done.
I think that here's the biggest thing. If you're mentally prepared to start your healing process, once you get to Sacred Mountain, it's easy because you are, just like you said, you're welcomed, open arms. You have mentors that welcome you. You have a staff that welcomes you. And it's just easy. If you're not right mentally, if you're not ready, I shouldn't say right. If you're not ready to take that path to start getting better, Sacred Mountain's not necessarily the place to come. Because we've had, just like you said, we've had the hard ones and we've had the great ones that have just breezed through. The ones that are hard, they struggle because they're not ready to open up. They're not ready to tell the story. They're ashamed. they're sad. They're still hurting so bad inside that when we do our firesides and we sit around and we do different
Exercises.
thank you, exercises in the evening, if they're not ready for those exercises, they're kind of wasting their time.
No.
So that individual that has that tough time and they leave you, what's the recourse? Who reaches back out? Who gives the hand, the rope, the gesture to say, hey, you tried? That's the first step. I know you're not ready for another one. Is there somebody at your retreat center staying in contact? Because like, I'll be honest with you. If I was walking into that situation myself, okay, and the happy-go-lucky motherfucker that's, like you said, is ready to do it, I can be honest with you right now.
Yep.
You will not get anything from me because I don't trust that person.
Right.
And that is where I shut down.
Right.
It's not that I'm not ready. It's just whoever that person is rubbed me the wrong way, and
Right.
I'm not going to open up because every time I start to, I'm going to feel negative from them just because of that. So I would be most likely one of those people that would be tough and rigid and firm and not willing to open up.
And
Who's
and
going to reach?
that happens. Night one, I do a lot of talking. I share a lot about my background because, again, just like Bill said, they have to trust not only their mentors, but they have to trust me. They have to trust this non-military, non-first responder civilian that just stepped out and said, I want to give back. I want to help. So I share a lot of things that I wouldn't share with the average person.
Right.
Because I need them to be able to build a trust and a bond with me right out the gate. So I'm vulnerable. And I allow myself to be vulnerable so that it's easier by night 3 and night 4 for them to understand that it's okay for them to be vulnerable. Now, to answer your question, when they go back home, we stay in contact with them as much as they will allow us to. We've had a couple individuals that when they left, they were out. They didn't want no more contact. I had friends or a family member who I knew that I was able to touch base and just, hey, how's Larry doing? Is there anything I can do?
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, when they come in and they fill out paperwork, do you get their birthday?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because even them tough cats and tough ladies out there, even if you remembered their birthday and just sent them a card that said, even if they don't want the contact, but out of the fucking blue, man, a birthday card comes and they're like, man, fuck you, Sacred Mountain. But I guarantee the next day when they get no cards, they're going to remember that. And that might be the next step.
Right.
Maybe that's as easy as it is. Because a lot of people, right? Let's be honest about this. A lot of people on social media says, and I can't stand this. My door's open. My light's on. My beer is cold. Ain't none of them motherfuckers calling me.
No.
Right? None.
Right.
And I don't call none of the ones I walked with.
Right.
So there's people out there that still want to be tapped, still want to be touched, but they don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't open up. That's why they can't open up. And sometimes it could be that guy in Virginia with a remote control, or it could be the grunt that sees a lot of shit every day.
Yep.
Each individual is going to handle it differently. And it's hard to sometimes accept somebody that's not close to what somebody else is closer to. Mm-hmm. So that individual might just be like, yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. I've been something like this before because of the VA did it. Man, fuck this bullshit. So even if it's just you get the birthday, just that would be my idea. Was like, hey, a birthday card, right?
Right.
Once a year contact. Boom.
So I'll tell you.
I'm not saying you're not doing anything right
How
because
much
you
time
obviously
do we
are.
got?
We
We
got
good?
forever, bro.
Okay. I don't want to run. So I'm going to tell you a story that's
Don't make me cry.
probably one of my favorites in the last 6 months. So we get applications, and this year, because my wife was kind of mama bear over all the pups. I kind of turned over the pup program, and I'm like, okay, when they start coming in, I want you to go through the applications. I want you to do the interview. You interview these people, and you send me the ones that you think these pups should go to. So she's interviewing people, and she's giving me, this is over a couple of weeks. I'll never forget it. We're sitting in the Walmart parking lot in Spearfish, and she's doing an interview with this gal. She was police and sheriff. She went back and forth. She did police for a few years, and then she ended her career as a sheriff on the other end of the state. She hangs up the phone, and she's like, oh my God, this gal needs a pup. She needs a pup. She's like, I can tell, Jared, she's not well. I'm like, okay, what's her deal? So she kind of runs through it with me. I'm like, well, if you say she needs one, let me do an interview with her, and we'll see where it goes. So I call her up, talk to her for 5 minutes. That's all I needed, 5 minutes. I said, well, I want to congratulate you. I said, you're getting one of our pups. There was complete silence on the other end of the line, and I'm like, hello? Are you there? She's like, yeah, I'm here. She goes, you've just changed my life. I said, well, we'd like you to come out in a few weeks, pick up your pup, see the property. I'd like to, show you around. So her and her friend drive out. They get there. This woman was as hard as that table. I mean, fucking hard.
Yeah.
No facial expressions. Very, very few words. I'm like, wow, I'm hoping we made the right decision. So she takes the pup home. I stay in touch with her, and I'm asking her because all the pups had to come back in September for our golf tournament, and at September, that's when they were leaving to go to training. So I was on her about, why don't you come to the program? It's all paid. You're coming already. Why don't you just come through our program?
Yeah.
We needed a female. She's like, no. She completely shut me off for like 2 weeks, and I really got worried. I finally texted her. I'm like, hey, I have to talk to you because it's getting close, and I need to make sure you're coming. She's like, I'll be there. So she shows up with another friend, and this friend pulled me aside, and she's like, I'm really, really worried about her. She goes, this pup has got her a long ways in the last 5 months, but I'm really worried when she has to give her pup up to go to training. I said, I'll stay on it. So I pulled the trainer aside. I said, this pup has to be your priority. Whatever it takes, this pup has to be the quickest turnaround out of all of them. He goes, not a problem. So kept texting. I'm really, really good about that. I don't drop people. If there's people that I know that need a little extra, I do quite a bit extra. So I'm texting her a lot, and I'm like, the end of October, it's our last retreat. I said, why don't you just give it a try? Just come. All of the expenses are paid.
Yeah.
Your pup's gonna be ready the end of October, 1st of November. Just come. She finally texted me, and she says, I'll fill out the application. I'll come to the program if you're going to pay for my gas. So fuck yeah, I'll pay for your gas.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
So remember, if you'll pay for my gas. So she comes. Day 1. Day 2. Day 3. By the latter part of day 3, she's starting to kind of smile a little bit. She's talking a little bit during meals, but still hard.
Yeah.
Day 4 comes, things are getting better. Day 5, she's laughing, she's enjoying it. She knows that we're going to get her puppy in 2 more days. So a lot happened in her 7 days of being at the program. The last night, I go around, I hand out their coins because they've completed the program. I give them some brochures, and then I give the people who drove, I give them their checks to pay for their fuel. She looks at me, what the fuck is this for? I said, I told you I was paying for your gas. She walked over and threw it in the fire. She goes, I don't want this. She goes, what you have done for me in 7 days is more than any program I've ever been through. The next morning, we get up, we leave at 7:30. We drive clear across Wyoming. We go down. She meets her puppy. She's talking to me the whole way, and it's like a whole new person. I mean, she's telling me about childhood stuff and stuff that happened when she was at work, and talking about how she had to go out for an accident and a dead cow, and we go a half a mile and there's a dead cow on the road. And she's like, I'm so worried that my pup's not going to remember me. I'm like,
Oh, I remember you.
your pup's going to remember.
Oh, yeah.
We get there. Wes opens up the door for the kennel door, and that dog went out, made one swoop around and jumped on her, and she fell to the ground and started bawling. And that dog is licking and loving and everything on her. We spent 3 hours, her and Wes, they did their thing. We drove home, and I mean, she's just a total different person. And it was going to be late when we got home, and so I'm like, why don't you stay? You can leave the next morning. So we get up the next morning, had some breakfast, and there was a few other people around, and she's just lollygagging around, and she's like, you fuckers, I don't want to fucking leave. And
So she bought a house.
she said, I think I'm going to move out here. But, seeing her, there's lots of them, but that's just one that sticks out right now. Seeing the transformation in her in 7 days, they sent her to basically a psych ward in Minneapolis quite a few years back because she had a mental breakdown. Yeah. She was there for 33 days, and she said, I got more out of this program in 7 days than I could have ever even imagined to get in 33 days of being in a fucking hospital.
Yeah, absolutely.
No pills.
Yeah,
No pills.
right? Just caring.
Right.
Yeah, different forms of caring. I just want to touch on one thing before we get done here. You keep talking about the staff. Tell me a little bit about the staff and how they came to be part of your grand experiment or not experiment. Yeah.
Vision.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, vision.
Well, I'm blessed that I get to work beside my wife every day.
They filled out an application.
Cover letter resume.
Yes.
She's my assistant. She's my rock. She's there every day. We work, 24 hours a day. The lights, there was a time where she's like, we just need to be able to shut work off. And now she's just as invested in it as I am. Mm-hmm. She's HR. She's my assistant. We have another part-time gal that just came on to kind of assist her with some of the stuff.
An assistant to an assistant.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
It's a double assist.
Double assist.
That's not bad. How many rebounds you got? How many slams? How many three-pointers? What's going on here today?
The equine therapist, he's been with us basically since day one. Mm-hmm. I had a gal that came out and she did some stuff and it just wasn't going to work for her. And she referred Tommy, and Tommy and I hit it off immediately. He's quiet, he's calm, he's cool, and he's collected. When you look at him, you're like, you know anything about horses?
No.
But he knows everything about horses.
Ma, I might know something.
He's amazing, and he's
He
amazing
doesn't talk
with
like that.
He's amazing with veterans because he's so quiet. He never gets wound up. He's the same pace all the time.
Yeah.
Greg Peters is our blacksmith. Tara brought him to us 2 years ago. We were kind of in a transition where we were struggling trying to find a full-time guy, and he came in, and he is amazing. He is so good at, again, being able to teach and coach and talk to these men and women. Our massage therapists, we've got 3 or 4 massage therapists that work for us. They're all local gals. We have a couple of yoga therapist, Stacy McCanley. I can't ever say that.
Brain fart.
She is 100% amazing. She works a lot with the mind and the body to teach why yoga is a good thing. We've had a couple of gals that have helped with the painting. It's just, we've really been blessed with some amazing people that have volunteered their time to come and help and give back.
Excellent. Well, that's fucking awesome, man. I'm so glad that you got to be here tonight and tell us a little bit about your story. I do think that a lot of people out there need to hear that there's actually people that do care out there. And to find that in this day and age just seems like an anomaly anymore. You know, everybody's just out for fucking self. And it's nice to hear that there's somebody out there that's willing to help and willing to put their best foot forward to help other people have their best foot back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if I really want to do plugs right now, but make sure that you're calling in to Consuela at 605-722-1510 to order your Sacred Mountain DTC Cup as soon as possible. We need to have those orders in by December 1st. Remember about that box promo. Again, man, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be able to. You should come and talk again sometime, man. It was fascinating, and I really appreciate what you're doing out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brett. All right, from everybody here at the DTC Crew and Blow and Smoke Podcast, peace. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Ciao.